So it's hard to believe that we are coming towards the end of our conference already. And I think it's very clear that all of us gathered here not only have a professional connection to our theme, but a deeply personal connection to it as well. And that's really come out from me today and yesterday in terms of that person-centeredness and the heart of teaching, as has been mentioned. Tom, you also alluded to the fact that teachers don't live in a vacuum. And I think we've been very lucky to be in a very comfortable bubble for the last couple of days, very comfortable indeed. And I think our challenge now, or our call to action, as Pamela said in her opening words yesterday, is to burst out of that bubble and to bring with us the learning from our conference today. And that may be reading the lovely material that Viv provided for us in his keynote yesterday. All of those photos you've been taking as people's slides have come up on the screen, going through those. But on behalf of Scotens, please do consider engaging in some cross-border research. That is at the heart of what we do. There's plenty of us from the committee will be here over lunch. Chat to us about the opportunities that are there, because a little bit like this time next year, we may not be winning the lotto, though that would be nice, but we hope that you will come back next year and that we continue these conversations and that they grow year on year. A couple of very quick thank yous before we go into a very special final event, and it won't take very long. A huge thank you to our keynotes, to Professor Viv Ellis, to Dr. Tom Walsh, to all of our panel speakers, to everybody who has presented papers over the last 2 days, not only for your work in presenting over the last couple of days, but in your engagement with us over the last weeks and months as we have prepared for today's conversation. To everybody who has come into this bubble and paused the emails for a little while and entered into that dialogue, it is a very special time for us when we can actually discuss and engage in those professional conversations. To all of the members of Scotens, they're all listed in the back of your programme. It's very important for us to have the support of all of those members, and to our funders, the Departments of Education North and South and the Irish American Partnership as well. A very, very special thank you to the staff in Cross-Border Studies, to Anthony, to Tricia and to Anne-Marie. None of this would have happened. We wouldn't have got here in the way that we have without their support. So a huge, huge thank you to you all. We've been very lucky to have Harry McMahon with us for the last couple of days. Harry was one of the founders of Scotens, and it is such a privilege to have him with us. But even more so, it is a privilege that today we are presenting the Harry McMahon Award. And there is nobody better to talk about it than Harry himself. So Harry, come and join us.
It's called On Growing Old. I've been told several of us have been told several times that we've very little time. So people who know me well know that I am inclined to, when I talk ad-lib, I head off in all sorts of different directions. So as a precaution, I've written down what I hope to say. So it's on my phone, and here we are. I have to cancel that in case the whole thing disappears. It's not as long as you think. I'm scrolling very slowly. Oh dear, dear, dear. Right. I'm going to start with an apology. I apologize that I don't have a graphic with a graph of my emotional state over the last couple of days. So, sorry about that. But all I can tell you is that I'm feeling quite emotional at the moment. This whole conference has been a joy and a celebration for me. And I want to thank you all for that. All the way through, I've been thinking about my old friend and professorial colleague, John Coulihan. His absence and his presence are with me right now. What I have to say is said for both of us. I have to say a few words about sexism. Sadly, we have to accept that sexism is like the air we breathe. It's all around us, all the time, whether we are aware of it or not. Or more pointedly, it's a bit like the nitrogen in the air we breathe. Not too much oxygen, lots and lots of nitrogen. So sexism is a bit like the nitrogen that we breathe. We don't need it, but we can't escape that fact that it's there all the time. It's a poison. Sadly, also some of us, mostly but not exclusively men and boys, have yet to learn that it is a poison. On the other hand, research is like the oxygen in the air we breathe. It too is all around us. We've sucked it in over the last couple of days. Scotens thrives on it. Indeed, Scotens couldn't exist without the oxygen of research. We're here to celebrate the fact that one of us in this room has taken the bold step of using the oxygen of research to explore what I'll call the territorial airspace of sexism. There's a phrase for you. Claire Hogan's motivation to explore its toxicity was personal and particular. But its impact, the impact of her meticulous and courageous work and the further research that will surely follow could be universal. As a community, Scotens have to welcome her initiative and recognize it for what it is, as both an opportunity and a challenge, and react appropriately. A little diversion. Once upon a time, we can't too go far. Stop me, somebody. If it goes too. Once upon a time, I was a member of a SIG at AERA, the American Education Research Association. And for those of you who are unsure, a SIG is a special interest group. For several years, I was a member of the AERA special interest group on semiotics, of all things, semiotics. If I may be so bold, I think that Scotens should set up a SIG whose task would be to unpack the semiotics of sexism in education, what it means to those engaged in education and learning, and how those meanings can be changed for good, for the good of women and girls, and men and boys. It is with great pleasure that I announce that the 2025 Harry McMahon Award for Best Doctoral Research Presentation goes to Claire Hogan.
too.
Just step a little bit up one side. You'll be seen. Isn't it marvellous? Congratulations. There you go.
Well, thank you.
This is yours.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. What a lovely way to end our conference and to really reinforce that personal and professional connection to our theme. And congratulations to Claire, and thank you to Harry for presenting the inaugural Harry McMahon Award. Two little bits of housekeeping. We do need to move out. Again, my reputation of moving quickly. There is a wedding today, and I wouldn't like Scotens to get in the way of a wedding. I know a lot of people like to get their photographs taken with the pop-ups if there's a group of you together. We're going to move the pop-ups out into the foyer area, so just for photographs, etc., if we can move that direction. And finally, our lunch will be served in the Lochshore Bar, which is the same place we had breakfast this morning. Wishing you all a very, very safe journey home. Please do join us for lunch, continue the conversations, and we look forward to seeing you at Scotens 2026.